Hi, it's Elizabeth here. So today I just want to talk a little bit about why logical people commonly misunderstand spiritual people. I feel like this is a topic that I can talk about for hours, but I'm going to keep it really short and brief for today. I've had this happen a lot in my life, especially in relationships and also sometimes kind of in the workplace. Because a lot of our corporations, the education system, just government systems in general are very much operated through the lower brain and the kind of the logical overdrive perceptions. And so it's like nothing ever changes or gets done because we're not tapping into our higher minds on trying to find certain resolutions or solutions to certain problems. But I would say that spiritually grounded people, like really spiritually grounded people who know themselves, who dug deep into their psyche, they can definitely be very intimidating to certain logical individuals because logical people don't understand themselves the same way spiritual people do by really tapping into their subconscious mind or tapping into their heart centers and things like that. And logical people misunderstand spiritual people because not everything in life can be explained through the logical perception. Logicalness, I guess, is very linear. For example, if you want to get to step 5, you have to start at step 1, progress to step 2, to 3, to 4, and then eventually you would get to step 5. That's very logical and linear in nature. However, certain life events that happen, especially when it comes with like random chaos events, like a divorce or a breakup or a death of a loved one, those events aren't logical in nature. And sometimes those events can completely steer someone's life path in a completely different direction. So if you're looking to get from point 1 to point 5, you might be at point 2, and then all of a sudden your spouse leaves you, and then you're jumping automatically into point 5, into a new life that you've never had before, to something that might be better than what your previous life was. And so what I'm trying to say is that a lot of spirituality is non-linear, so you can't always explain it. You can't always explain certain things through science or through analyzing or just through. And a lot of spiritually grounded people use a lot of things that happen in nature and analyze and apply those metaphors into real life situations. So for example, love, a marriage, or just a relationship between two people, it's not going to be logical and linear at all. The progression through life. It's going to be very unlinear, similar to a river. Love is going to meander left and right. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. It might have a few logs that are blocking the path of the water to flow properly. And sometimes you reach time periods where life is just flowing rapidly down a waterfall, 200 feet into a pool, a puddle of water at the bottom. And that's exactly what life is like. And I think what love is like. And so a lot of times logical people, I think we've bred this culture of narcissism and chronic selfishness that everybody is so worried about their fucking needs that they don't even compromise or communicate or meet their partner halfway, or they just don't see anything in terms of life just flowing like a river, just going with the flow. This stuff's going to happen. And so if you're chronically in this logical mindset all the time, you're just going to look at, well, my needs weren't met, this wasn't happening, and then it's like, where are we going to go? Into chronic relationships of 1 to 5 years, or we reach the pivotal point of 7 years, where a lot of relationships start failing, and then we just jump ship into the next best thing. So I think that's where a lot of this disconnect in perceptions happen between logical and spiritual people. It's because logical people don't trust the path. People who have absolutely no spiritual knowledge or no spiritual wisdom, they don't trust things that sometimes they unfold or blossom organically as is. They just look at everything like a business deal. Well, I need this and that and that and that. And you know what? And that might work, but there definitely is a disconnect between the two. So if you have a logical person and a spiritual person, maybe the two can bridge the gap to work together. It's kind of like yin and yang. You have the best of both worlds. So another reason why logical people commonly misunderstand spiritual people is because when you are using your logical mind, it's very practical, sometimes it's methodical, but you just see what's in front of you. So right now I'm looking at my webcam making this video. Spiritual people use a lot of their third eye, so their mind's eye, and sometimes they can see what's behind the veil. It's kind of like watching the ballet. You have this beautiful dance and performance that's happening on stage, beautiful costumes, great music, wonderful flow of human movement, but what's happening behind the drapes and behind the smoke screen per se? So a lot of logical people, for example, if you get a job, they might see the salary and the benefits, and they're like, this is amazing. But a spiritual person might be like, well, the money is amazing, but what do I have to do in order to keep this job? Or what do I have to do? What bullshit do I have to put up with in order to maintain this type of job and lifestyle? So that's like not really the best example, but a lot of times the spiritual people can really see or just understand that there's something happening behind the veil, and we don't always know what that is. So sometimes what you see on the surface might look great, but you really have to start like digging deep into something to really find the truth and the matter to it. It's almost like a surgeon. He has to cut the superficial layer of your skin and your muscle to get down into the deeper nitty-gritty layers of, the more fine-tuned muscles, or down into the bone type of thing. So anyways, that is just, it's just common. I think just a lot of logical people, they get kind of freaked out when spiritual people have like quasi-psychic experiences, or they just have a really strong intuition that they're like, something's not right here, or this is going really great. It kind of freaks them the fuck out. I've seen it. I've had it happen to me. And so, if you're a spiritual person, you just kind of have to go with the flow of certain things. But it just kind of sucks that, there is this disconnect between the two. So my hope for people is that you bridge and balance both worlds. Because if you live too far in one area of life, we start becoming more extreme. It's like politics, right? It's like everyone is polarizing to the extreme end of the spectrum, but no one's coming into the middle. So if you live your life completely in logic, you're not going to really progress through life, because certain things in life can't be explained logically. And so you're just like Donald Trump winning the presidency. Is that logical? Not really. So you can keep spinning your wheels and trying to find every fucking excuse and wonder, well, how did this guy win? It's like you just can't explain certain things. Some things are just ordained by God, you just accept it. And then certain spiritual people who are not tapped into logic, they're constantly running the wheels about like having to heal themselves or having to do these gut cleanses. They're over emotional. They need to like pull it to the center and use a little logic and not have their life be completely run by emotion, so you can start to balance everything out. So that would be like the most ideal world, is people are balancing both. But I don't know, I guess if you're a spiritual person, maybe you have some ideas on why logical people misunderstand us. I think a lot of very, very logical people, especially in the tech industry, who are atheists, they don't have a belief in any sort of higher power. And so to them, it's just absolutely unthinkable that people in 2018 still believe in God. And I don't know, it's like humanity has believed in God since like the dawn of man. So why can't we just accept the fact that we believe in a higher power, and we just have to kind of balance this stuff out? So yeah, anyways, these are just some quick thoughts that I've had. I just wanted to share it because I've talked about this a little bit lately with some people. And generally women are more spiritual than Men, I don't know, maybe it's because we have to bear children that we're just a little bit more tapped and in tuned into intuition and our emotions. But I would just say that I see this a lot where it's like the woman's really spiritual and the man's really logical, and then he gets kind of freaked out. He's like, what the fuck is happening? And then he just kind of like disappears and walks away, or he pulls away because he's just freaked out. Well, anyways, these are just some thoughts, but I have some additional thoughts on my blog links that you can see below, and please feel free to subscribe. I'm trying to build this channel to provide you some fantastic information from a different point of view that kind of balances logic and spirit. So anyways, hope to see you guys soon. Have a great day. Happy spring. Bye.